Alright guys, so officially we're gonna go for a first long ride with this bike. Beautiful bike. Now let's see how beautiful she handles. Stay tuned. Alrighty, just came back from the ride. I love it. So my first impressions of this 2007 Yamaha FJR1300 is really comfortable, really smooth, and she cruises all day long. Basically at 60 miles an hour in fifth gear at 3,000 RPM. It's a no-brainer. You can go anywhere with this thing, and it's gonna be fuel efficient probably. I don't know how many miles per gallon I'll get with this, but my fuel gauge didn't even change. Maybe it just went down one bar. I haven't even fueled it since I bought it, and I put about like 40 miles right now. About 40 miles, so it's not too bad. Handling. She handles great. You don't really feel the weight. I feel like on a Concourse 14 that I had, I could feel it a little bit more heavier than, oops, I almost fell on them. Freezing. I feel like the Concourse 14 was a little bit more heavy. It didn't swerve as nice and as smooth as this. Not as nice and smooth, because it did swerve nice and smooth, but it's not as flickable. It's not as fast going from side to side as this one. It's lighter than the Concourse, I understand, but I feel like this one, I can sit a little bit taller than the Concourse. I don't know. It feels like this is a little bit taller than a Concourse. That's how I can describe it. Smooth, really smooth. The engine sound, since it's stock right now, it doesn't have any aftermarket exhaust on it or anything. She sounds like a turbine. All you hear is the whistle and like a deeper tone from the exhaust in the background. But other than that, smooth. Gearbox is smooth. It's clunky, but it doesn't shift hard. It's really smooth, but you can hear it clonk, 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 clonk. Unless you just preload your shifter, it kind of goes smoother. So I'm still learning to ride this thing. Coming from the VMAX, the gearbox on that thing was like a tractor. You had to like slam it. I guess that bike is just meant to rev and rev and rev. But this bike, it's really smooth. I'm sorry I don't have a microphone in a helmet to talk while I'm riding. And probably I can't remember everything that I wanted to say about this bike, but so far, I like it. I feel like I can go to my buddy in Ohio, and I'll get there pretty comfortable. With the windshield, this one has a, what is it? Lee Bailey's Aircraft Plastics windshield. I heard this one is discontinued. The previous owner couldn't find original. He thought he threw it away or something. But so far, this one, in the lowest position, I hear a lot of buffeting in my helmet. Even with my helmet down, I can hear a lot of buffeting. But I guess it's okay, because if I want some wind in my face and I need to cool off, I guess I can just do that. Keep it down, you know, and get more air. But when I have it all the way up, no buffeting, no wind noise, minimal, if any. Sitting position, it's pretty upright, slightly forward. I can't say it's totally upright, but it's slightly forward. But not uncomfortable in any way. My back doesn't hurt. I have a pretty bad lower back, so it was pretty comfortable for me. I didn't really have to change position or stretch or do any of that. It's pretty comfortable. The handlebars, they're wide, but they're not too wide like a Super Tenere. They're not too narrow like a Yamaha FZ1, but they're really comfortable. They are where they're supposed to be. If I decide to add a 1-inch riser on this thing, I think it would make it more comfortable for me, because I have a long torso, but my arms are not as long. You know, I don't know. I have a long torso, short legs, short arms. I'm like a gorilla. Built like a gorilla. But as is, it's not bad. I felt pretty good on it. What else? Okay, stability in corners. I feel pretty planted. Granted that I have to tighten up my steering head bearing, because when I take out my hands off the handlebars, you can see it a little bit. Maybe I'm not sure if I'll put a clip on this video, either previous to me talking or maybe after, just to show what I'm talking about. But I did that with my VMAX, and it took that away. It took the shakiness, the head shake out of the way. So I'm gonna do that tomorrow. The 36 millimeter socket for the hex nut on the top of the head bearing, it's coming. So I will use that to take that nut off, so I can adjust the head bearing. If I can adjust it. If I need to change it, then it's going to be like this for a little bit, and then I'll change it when they come in. Let me check the fork seals, because I know they were leaking. This one is dry. Let me see this one. Ooh, dry. I guess this did the trick. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I bought this. It's a seal cleaner from Amazon. You pop this out, and you just put this, slide it on the fork, go in the direction of the hook, pop it out. And actually this one cleaned the fork seals. Actually it works, I'm surprised. I cleaned the forks, I shook it up and down, you know, compressed the forks, and it was still leaking a little bit. But I guess now it's not. Great, which is great. I thought I'm gonna need to replace that, but I don't have to. Great for inspection. So, one thing is left to do for this bike to make it the way I wanted to make it. It's to tighten up the head bearing. What I'm talking about, take this little nut out. I mean the big old nut out. Take the bars out, undo those nuts, torque them down to the spec, put everything back together, see if you have any shake. You know, do the forks up and down, I mean front and back, and see if you have any wobble or any movement. I did that with mine, and I did have some movement, so that's one thing that I know I had to fix. But I didn't know how bad it was until, you know, I got to 50-60 miles an hour and took my hands out handlebars, and that thing went like, ooh. Funny, right? Okay. A lot of people talking about the engine heat. It's not bad. The Gen 1 Concourse 14, the one that I had, the 2008 Concourse 14 Kawasaki, had a lot of engine heat. You could feel that heat if you were standing in traffic, or if you're standing on a stoplight, at a red light, or a stop sign, or in a traffic jam, or at slow speeds, even slow speeds like under 30 miles an hour, you could feel the engine heat, especially on the right side. On the right side, you could feel that like the whole tire was on fire, the ball was on fire, everything was hot. But as soon as you start moving, you would be okay. This one, barely some heat, but it's not really bad at all. It's not bad at all. The heat, engine heat, not a problem. Brakes. Brakes, I feel like I need to bleed them. They do stop the bike, but I feel like the rear brake needs to be bled at least, because it's pretty hard to push, and when it pushes, it doesn't stop as fast as I thought it's gonna stop. My rear brake on my VMAX, it would just freaking lock on you quickly. This one does not. Granted, I know it has ABS, but I would, that's just preventive maintenance that I gotta do. It's a brand new bike for me, so I'm gonna just change all the fluids, radiator flush. I actually ordered a brand new, I mean, it's not brand new. I used, what is this? Water pump. I used water pump from eBay. It's coming in the next few days, because that nipple, that little fitting for the breather hose on a water pump broke off on me. Water was leaking out a little bit, so I tried to figure out what the hell is going on. When I pulled it out, it pulled up with the nipple. So I had to search online for one, but meantime, what I did, I just press fit another little nipple in there. I put some epoxy on it, not epoxy, JB Weld. I put a JB Weld around, and so far it's not leaking. Like I said, I took it for a 40-mile ride and nothing happened. So that thing is really tight and solid. No leaks in there. I don't know if you guys can see it. That's what it is. Doesn't have any leaks, so it's all good. Other than that, that's what I can say about a bike. Engine heat, no problem. Comfort, no problem. It's pretty comfortable for now. Like I said, 1 more inch handlebar risers, and it would be perfect cruising position, at least for me, for my body style. Brakes, I need to see the rear on this one, because I didn't like the way it felt. Handling, handles pretty well. No problem with that either. I don't feel it too heavy. I feel lighter than my Concourse, and it's about the same handling as the my buddy's ST1300 from Honda. When I had my VMAX, he switched his bike with my VMAX to do a review, and I had a ST1300 for like a week. That one handles really good, really nice to like dive in the corners. You don't really feel the weight when you're moving. I didn't feel the weight on this one either, so I think it's comparable with the ST. ST might be slightly better, I think. This is what I think. I really have to ride it, this one and then next one, back to back, just to see the difference. But as far as I remember, a couple weeks ago, it did not handle bad at all. Just comparable with this one. And that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoy my little review from the first ride. I'm sorry, like I said, for not talking while I'm riding, because I don't have a setup for that yet. But soon I will. I'll upgrade my equipment. And that's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. They'll come, slowly, but they'll come, I promise. Thanks for watching.